right. Good morning. Welcome back. I appreciate that, Chef. Yeah, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming, man. Just got to stay patient. Good morning, Mexico. Buenos dias. Tesla, huh? Ouch. Ouch. Morning, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Negative 54 wind chill in Alberta. Damn. I haven't been outside yet. What is it in Florida? 66 here today. Not bad. That's a beautiful day. Montana. Wow, is it that cold up there? That's another ouch. Oh, yeah, you got a nice little storm coming through the central part of the U.S. Damn. Holding 3 Tesla puts from yesterday. Nice. The everything bagel. Oh, man, I love an everything bagel. That's the best bagel. Egg everything. Egg everything. Best bagel you could buy. Gotta have an egg everything. You should be looking good this morning, bagel. Nice. Yeah, I just got that PC. That's it's a beast. I tested it out yesterday. I'm getting like 220 FPS on COD, and then I don't know if you guys play Ark, but I play Ark sometimes, and I was getting like 100 frames on Ark, which is pretty good. So I'm excited about it. Excited to get the streams going. Gonna be working on it. Welcome back, guys. Good morning. Thank you, Shari. J-Rock. All right. Wait a few more minutes for some people to jump in. Can I share my IBKR? Yeah, I can. Hold on. I'll show it live. That music in the Discord. Some people love it, some people hate it, I'm sure, but to me, you gotta have a little bit of music in the morning. Get you pumped up a little bit, ready to go. XLE longs today, huh? All right, guys, so welcome back. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday. Yesterday was a good day for me. Finally felt normal yesterday. Got a nice action. Nice downside on Tesla. Then some really clean break and retests pretty much all morning. Break and retest rejections all morning on Nvidia, on AMD, on Meta was nice. And so a lot of nice setups yesterday. We'll see if there's continuation. We'll see what happens today. There's some very key levels below on the NASDAQ and the S&P that we need to be watching, right? There's definitely some demand levels to be watching on the downside. So we need to pay attention to that. We'll jump into that in just a second. Here is my interactive brokers for you guys all to see. Let's see it live. You can see no paper trading, no this, no that. All right, there's my IVKR. Here's my two positions that I'm holding right now: Coinbase and Boeing. Coinbase, it looks like I'm gonna be up. I don't want to show my account number, but I've already leaked that about 5 times here today. So, looks like I'm gonna be up about $1,100 at open today. Coinbase is looking really good to the downside. So, yeah, it's looking good, man. Looking like a pretty decent morning with my Coinbase puts. This was, as always, shared in the group, as always. So you can see right here, this was our Coinbase analysis. If coin cannot break over this 144, I'm considering a next week swing. And then right here around 320 is when I entered that. Going to take a little shot here on coin. Unable to break that 144 level. Now 3 times worth the risk reward trade here for me. You can't see that because it's not on your screen. Fantastic. Here it is. Yeah, so little Coinbase swing into today. Looks like it's going to pay for now. We'll see how that does. And that's sort of where I'm sitting this morning. So up about $1,100 here to start the morning on some swing trades. And yeah, that's that. Jay Price with the 5 gifted. Hey. Crypto, Scotty, Gareth, Derek, Babar. There you go. Members. Jay Price probably got to be one of the top contributors to the channel. Maybe I need to start writing names on things like the Twitch streamers. What am I writing names on? Where am I putting Jay Price's name? Maybe in the background. I'll put Jay Price's name in the background. The trade yesterday on Tesla almost was worth a Tesla tequila shot on the stream, but it's not there yet. We're not there. We need more. It's not. I'm not gonna take a shot on the live stream that easily. Maybe one day. All right, let's get started. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay tuned for more live streams. And let's jump into it. Let's get it started. So, charts. Here we go. Number 1. Let's go to, well, we already know, but we can go to the economic calendar. Forex Factory. The plant, yeah, the plant, I like the plant over here better. So, unfortunately for you guys, yeah. The plane ain't going in the background. You can look at my PC if you want to see something in the background. So today, guys, you have the PPI. That's about it, right? PPI in about 8:30. So in about 22 minutes, we got PPI coming out. We'll see what the reaction is. It won't be as big as a CPI reaction typically. It's sort of the, just less important. I mean, obviously it is important, but usually a smaller volatility move. So PPI tomorrow. Or today, sorry, at 8:30. We'll see what the reaction there, and that's pretty much it. You do have some bank earnings today that have been coming out this pre-market, so that is really the sign that earnings season is around the corner. I would assume, okay, so thank you, Breadman. Breadman's always a good guy. Let's get Breadman. GG's to Breadman. Let's pull up the browser. Let's pull up the economic calendar here for the upcoming weeks, because it's starting to get heavy. Right? If I can zoom in. Nope, not that much. Let's go right there. All right. So you do have some earnings coming up, right? So today is the 12th. This is going to be this is today up here. You have JP Morgan, Bank of America, BlackRock, BNY Mellon, Citibank, Wells Fargo, all reporting today. I think yeah, they've already reported in the pre-market. Next week, so we have markets closed on Monday. I forgot about that. Markets closed Monday. So we get a nice little 3-day weekend this week. That's awesome. Love to see that. Next week, some more banks to start the week. Goldman, Morgan, PNC, Interactive Brokers. They're probably going to make money because of all my commission fees. Tuesday, really nothing there. Wednesday, TSM, pretty interesting there. Next, really nothing here. Some small banks. And then you get into the big tech weeks. So the third week of January, big tech. And then the fourth week of January, big tech as well. And then the start of February as well. So Netflix. Netflix is really the only big one there. But Netflix, J&J, Verizon, P&G, then Tesla on Wednesday of next week. I'm sorry, 2 weeks. Tesla. You got, nothing too much there, nothing too much there, nothing too much. Boeing, that should be interesting. Boeing on Wednesday the 31st. To start February, Apple, Meta, those are some big ones there. So you are entering earnings season, my friends. So understand that. Know if you're trading something, know when their earnings are, make sure you're aware of that. It should be, all earnings should be within the next probably 8 weeks, right? Into February is when it's going to start to get a little heavier. All right? So that's that. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. NASDAQ, that's where we're starting today. And the NASDAQ did a pretty clean move yesterday, right? Pretty clean move yesterday on the NASDAQ. Opportunities, again, really to both sides yesterday. So here's the NASDAQ. Let me move my phone because it's in the way. All right. So what did the NASDAQ do yesterday? Well, early morning yesterday, we saw that CPI reaction live here on the live stream, right? We saw that rejection on the live stream of that 17,060 level. We had the previous highs. CPI came out right here, and a quick reaction to the downside on CPI, right? So we had a quick bounce or a quick drop on CPI off 17,050. Now, we held that 16.9 demand. That was our demand that we pointed out in the pre-market. So you can see right here, you held that 16.9 demand and you bounced into open. Now, bouncing into open, right? This is what it means to focus on levels, because if you saw the bounce into open, you still, like we said in the live stream, you still have to be cautious of the supplies above, right? Just because we're bouncing off demand does not mean that we will not reject off supply again. So supply rejection on CPI right here, right? Move to the downside, bounce off demand right there, back into that supply level, which got nailed, right? And to the same exact level at that 17,050. And that's where the downside came in. Now, there was an extremely clean move here, right? Around that 1030 time frame. If we zoom in here on the 5-minute chart, look at how perfect this right there is, right? Look at how clean that is. That's a perfect break and retest rejection, right? Absolutely textbook bear flag, break and retest rejection of the previous demand lows. And that was right at our 16.9 level. That is textbook stuff right there, right? So you have your break of demand, you have your retest of demand, you start to get those wicks, right? You start to see that slowdown at the previous demand lows, and you get that big drop, right? That was a beautiful intraday opportunity there into our 16.8 demand. And what did 16.8 do? It held pretty damn well, right? So you are still holding the 16.8 demand level, which is very important, right? Even though yesterday's downside was pretty aggressive, we are still maintaining that general 16.8 demand level. And that's very important to pay attention to. So this market, while there was some downside opportunities yesterday, and while it was pretty flushy and very aggressive, creating some nice shorts, this NASDAQ market has not broken anything of importance yet. You know, we definitely see the rejections come in, but the downside demands are still valid at 16.8. And also, the other demand that needs to be watched today is that 20 SMA. All right, so you are still trading above 16.8 demand. You have to understand that, right? This is where you need to be cautious shorting if you are coming down into that 16.8. The next demand that's holding right now, which was that hold post CPI, right? Post CPI, what was the hold level? The 16.9, right there, 16.9. And 16.9 is attempting to hold on right now in the pre-market. Okay? So right now, right, immediate short term, 16.9 is your level to watch if we open near this level today. All right? Do we hold above 16.9? Do we reject under 16.9? That's going to be our first level to watch today. If we're holding above this 16.9, right? We could see that upside, right? If we hold above 16.9, we could see that upside back into these supplies, right? Back into the 17,000, back into the 17,050. If we break under that 16.9, this is where it could get just a little bit tricky, right? This area right here could get a little bit tricky, right? Because break of 16.9 is important, right? And if you do take shorts under 16.9, then you still are exposed to a bounce off the 20 SMA, right? So even if we break 16.9 today, I'd be a little bit cautious on the short side into that 20 SMA because you see that little 20 SMA hold pre-market. So I'd be sort of cautious anywhere short towards this 20 SMA around 16,858, 16,860. I would be cautious being short into that 20 SMA, right? That could absolutely be a hold level today, right here, okay? Really, the confident short, the aggressive short that I would take today, if there was anything, right, would be this. This would be the, moving forward, this is the real aggressive and confident short. It is a hold under yesterday's lows, right? This is where, if we break under this, this is where you get aggressive on the short side, right? Without that, right, without that break under this previous day low, without that break under 16.8, everything above this could be demand holds, right? These could all be demand holds, okay? Above this 16.8. Everything above that 16.8 could be demand holds, and you need to be cautious of that if you are looking on the short side. The best long opportunity for me today would also be the same level, right? If we drop into 16.8 today and we start to find that demand again, this is probably, once again, your best demand hold level and possibly your best risk reward for upside. So I think everything sort of flows off this 16.8 level, right? Yesterday we had that drop into it. We held it very strong, created a long opportunity. If we drop into it again, right, and we start to hold it again, does it create a long opportunity? That's something that I'll be watching today. That's really the level that I think is key to play off of. Because you're either going to see something like this, right, or you're going to see the rejection under for a nice downside. But I think it all sort of flows off the 16.8. So that's the key level there. If we don't get into 16.8, right, that means that you are holding today. If you don't see 16.8 print today, then that means you're either holding 16.9 or you're holding the 20 SMA. One of the two, right there. Either the 20 SMA held strong or the 16.9 held strong, and we're trading back into the supply highs. Supply highs for me, 17,000, and then the major one up here is 17,050, 17,060, all up here. I'm actually going to move it up to 60 just to be safe. So I would say the 17,060 and the 17,000 level are the two supplies that I'd be watching above. So if we do bounce today, watch for that, right? And that's really it, right? Those are some pretty clean levels to be watching today. We have to see how they react intraday, and we'll see how it reacts in about 12 minutes post PPI. I'm tempted to move this down, right? But this is what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to have two levels here. Because 16.8 is important. There's no doubt about that, right? 16.8, 16.8, 16.8. But on the same, in light of being cautious, right? If you short under 16.8 today, you could see this at the 16.750. So I would also make sure you have a little demand level exactly at the lows of yesterday. Because, yes, if we break 16.8, I think it will cause reactions to the downside. I think it'll get pretty weak, but it could do that. This could be a little liquidity, right, bear trap into the lows, sort of what happened yesterday. So be aware of that, right? Yes, just because we get under 16.8, you could still get, this type of action today at the lows of yesterday. So I would be very cautious at that exact low around 16,750. Okay? All right. QQQ, 30-minute chart. Very clean levels on the QQQ the last few days. Very clean, very structured, and even structured here today as well. So here's some structure for you, right? Number one, 405. You come back into that 405, you big demand bounce off of it. Very nice there. So that's your very clear demand that has to break for downside, right? If you get under 405, you're moving lower. Under 405, you're moving to 402, right? That's if you break and hold under that previous day low, break and hold under 405. Next level, right here, that's holding in the pre-market, 407.60, right? Let's go down to the 15-minute chart, get a little bit more insight on that level. You can see right here, 407.60, 407.60, 407.60, and you can see right now in the pre-market, it's holding that 407.60. So this is a level that we're watching right now in the short term. If we break under this 407.60, right, you're probably going to trade back down to that 20. You're probably going to trade back down to that 405. All right, if you turn this previous high, this low, that little low from CPI yesterday, if you turn that CPI low into rejections today, you're probably going to move back towards that 20 and that 405 demand. If you get upside today, right, you're watching very clearly 4010. 4010, baby. That's the level, right? Look at how key the reactions are at 410 yesterday were. So if we do get a bounce, you're watching 410. If we get a hold over 410, that's where the things start getting interesting for upside, right? A hold over 410 today would be the move that I would look for that upside confirmation, right? And possibly some long entries on a hold over 410. So 410, very big above. That's a major level, right? 407.60, very major level, right? And then, of course, you have the 405. So here's your levels today, right there. 410, 407.60, 407.50. You can even move it down to 407 if you like that clean level, right? Maybe it is exactly 407, but it's that general zone. And then 405, right? 405. And, of course, thick boy, 20 SMA, right? Right there. 20 SMA. You can see how the 20 SMA has acted as a support, sort of on the way higher. So you have to be aware of that 20 SMA. ES. 1 hour chart, ES. Let's go 30-minute or 15. We need a little bit more detail here. So here's the ES. Pretty textbook drop yesterday right into demand, right? And you can see the demand held. So textbook technical levels yesterday. Textbook supply and demand levels, right? You have your supply that came in off 48.30. You had your drop to the downside into the demand lows that we talked about. Demand bounce, right? Pretty textbook supply and demand levels yesterday. 47.70 is a very key demand down below, right? You can see the lows right here. You can see the lows right here. Very clear. So if you drop, right, you don't start shorting here, right? If you drop, you don't say, should I start looking at SPY puts here? No, right? No. That's the worst spot to play SPY puts, right? At the exact lows. We're not getting FOMO because the market's dropping, right? This is exactly what happened to probably some traders yesterday, right? If traders are not watching supply and demand, they're probably looking at this and they're like, oh my God, short, big SPY candle to the downside. I'm entering SPY puts, right? And then you get sort of chopped up and you hold demand. God, and then you hold demand and then you get stopped out, right? We're not shorting at demands. No matter what the candles look like into demands, we're not shorting at demands. So you have your demand low at 47.70. Very clear, right? That is your demand to watch today. What else is holding today? 20 SMA, right? 20 SMA right here. 20 SMA, very clear. You can see it right there trying to hold this morning. You can see how the 20 has sort of acted as a stair step as we moved higher. So we're watching that daily 20 SMA today as well. And then on top of that, I would say this 4,800 area, right? You're trying to hold on to this 4,800 this morning. If you sort of hold this 4,800 towards this 20 SMA, so pretty much anywhere between 4,800 and 4,790, if you hold this area, this could be, right, where you sort of hold, maintain, and continue higher. So I would say you're watching 20 SMA, 4790, you're watching 4800, you're watching this entire 10-point zone for potential demand today. If you drop under that, you're trading into 47.70, right? That's your next demand. Under that, you got 47.40, but we haven't tested that yet. We'll see if we break that low. And then, of course, to the upside, right? 48.30, right? 48.30, 48.30, 48.40. Those are your heavy supplies above. How do you set up your daily? You just go right here, daily SMA, right? Daily SMA, and put the level you want. So daily SMA 20, whatever you want. Daily SMA 100, 50, 2,000, 20,000, 69. Let's put on the 69, 20 at the 69 SMA. Where's that at? There it is. But we don't want that. We want 20. We don't want 69. All right. Maybe we do. Anyways, so look at the gap of the daily 20 SMA. Good sign of how we can sign and move. Let me see. You're talking about the gaps like higher? Amped? Actually, you know what? It's funny you say that. I mean, I've never really looked at that, but you can see like this little move is smaller than this move. I don't know if that really means anything. I've never done that type of, I've never really looked at it like that. You can see like this gap day to day over the daily 20 SMA is actually smaller than this one, right? I think maybe that's what's AMP saying. They're getting tighter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what that translates to. I've never really done that analysis, but yeah, levels are key. Levels are definitely holding. 4,800 to 4,800 to the daily 20, right? Very key. Very key. All right. SPY. So, SPY. Previous high, right? And you can see 475. Yeah, I mean, the reason why the gaps get smaller, guys, is because you don't move as much the day prior, right? It's an average of the pricing. So if the daily 20 didn't exponentially move higher, right? If this is a smaller move than, let's say, this move, then it's because the market that day did not move up, right? It didn't average the daily 20 SMA higher, right? That's pretty much what that means. But yeah, I don't know exactly what that means, right? If you see that type of, if you start seeing this, let's say the next daily 20 is, here, and then if the next daily 20 is, say, here, right, and that daily 20 starts to sort of curl lower, well, that's because the market's starting to break down, right? If you start to see an upside move and the daily 20 starts going like this, right, that's because the market's starting to roll over. That's what happened right, that's what started to happen. That pretty much showed the top of the market, right, back in July, right? Look at this. The first time the daily 20 SMA had any type of lower high was on August 9th, right? August 9th. And then look what happened August 9th. Bam, right? That was sort of the top right there. So, yeah, I mean, I love the daily 20, man. I think the daily 20 is a great short-term indicator of the trend. So you can see, right, over here, the first lower high on the daily 20 caused some downside. The first higher low on the daily 20 caused that upside. Right here, inflection point, downside. Right here, inflection point for upside. So it's pretty good, right? You can see that. So, yeah, if you start to see that daily 20 starting to roll over up here, right, that could be your indicator of some extended downside and something to watch for. It's done it in the past. Yeah, we got 1 minute until data here, 20 seconds. So let's just wait for that SPY analysis until that comes out. PPI incoming. Press that like button. We got 600 likes and 1,900 people. Damn, that's rough. The thick boy crossover. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay, a little candle. Nothing really. A little wick on the upside. Yeah, nothing. Nothing really there. Let's see what the numbers are. Market squeezing. Oh, my God. PPI, 0 versus 0.2. So actually lower than expectations. Prior, so equal to the prior, lower than expectations. Year over year, 1% versus 1 point. So PPI is lower. Producer price index lower than consumer price index. A little bit of a pop, but nothing that's broken anything here. It hasn't even got anywhere near pre-market highs, so let's keep an eye on that. But for now, nothing really there. Nothing really there. Yeah, we'll run an ad. Why not? All right. So, SPY. PPI just was released, lower than expectations. A little bit of a pop there. Nothing too much, but we'll see if it continues. As of right now, it looks like it's holding pretty strong, right? No really, wick and then drop. So right now, holding pretty strong, maintaining. We'll see what happens intraday. But for now, levels are still intact, so that's all we care about. What are the levels? Are they still intact? Have we broken any levels? No. All right, so, right, for me, guys, this is my mindset, and maybe some of your mindset as well, but anything that moves in between a level, anything that is in a dark area on my chart it's completely meaningless, right? This move right here is absolutely meaningless. It means nothing. It has not broken supply. It has not broken demand, right? There is no meaning to this move as of right now, right? So the only time this move means anything is if it breaks over a supply and starts to hold a supply, if it breaks below a demand and starts to hold it below a demand, right? That's when it matters. But when you start to just sort of move within a channel, move within this dark zone between a supply and a demand, what's the point of the move, right? It's a pointless move right now. This could easily go like this and then do this, right? Or this could easily go like this and then drop off supply, or it could just sort of drop right back down in the middle of this zone and start to pop back up, right? It means nothing. So you got to make sure you sort of zone out, or at least take the noise out of your trading, right? These little pops, or any pops intraday, in between a major supply and a major demand, are meaningless, right? Now, if you're riding something, and you have a position, of course, you're going to want to monitor how it's trading within that zone. But you want to be trading at the levels, right? If you longed yesterday at the 20 SMA, you crushed it, right? If you longed yesterday, let's say on a reclaim of 475 on the SPY, you crushed it, right? But if you just took a random trade here, yeah, maybe you made some money on the upside, but what's your plan here, right? If you just took a random trade here, what's your plan? Your stop has to be down here. You could have rejected that supply, right? If you just took a random long here, you probably, you got caught in a supply rejection. Your stop needs to be back at demand. So I would only trade when stocks are at key levels. And that's why, you guys see when I take trades, it's always off a key level. And I just have confidence in it because it makes it easy for stop losses, right? Because let's say the SPY today broke back down into 475 and it started to hold that 475 level, right? Let's say we saw something like this. It starts to hold, right? I know I can set up my long here, stop under that 475, right? Just have a stop loss right under it, and I have confidence to take that trade because at least I'm trading at this key level. So anyways, let's continue. 475, right? Very key. 477.50, very key. And then as long as we're above that 20 SMA on the SPY, this market holds higher, right? This market holds higher. So right here, you can see we held that 20 SMA yesterday on SPY. Beautiful upside opportunity. Now we're holding above these previous highs. So if the SPY is above this triple top high, no reason to be that bearish today, right? No reason to be that bearish today if the SPY is above that triple top high. And it is holding very nicely in the pre-market right now. So, supply, demand. And you trade between those levels today. The bearish move is this, right? That's the very bearish move, right? The bullish move is probably a hold over this 475, but again, you still got to sort of be cautious up here into those highs. All right, let's make sure we have a level there. Into that 478.50. Right, we probably should have a little bit of caution into that 478.50. And then all-time highs, 480. All right, let's continue. Let's get into some stocks. Let's just go IWM. So IWM, man, has this thing been a consolidating move, right? This thing has not done anything. But yesterday, nice rejection of supply again. But look at what it's doing, right? No matter how strong a move is between levels, right, the demand and supply can still hold, right? So this was a very aggressive downside in IWM, and the demand still held, right? So that demand is strong, but so is the supply. And so that means, what are you doing? You are literally trading within a channel, right? That's all you're doing. So we need to get outside of this zone for actual trades now, right? I've sort of retired the IWM in the short term. I just no longer want to be trading in this area. It has proven to me that it doesn't want to break. So if we get above, I'll look to see if that's a long. If we get below, I'll look to re-short, right? But for now, IWM way too sideways to really get interest in it. Tesla, oh baby. So here she comes. Here comes Tesla. Here's the levels that you got to be watching today on Tesla, guys. First of all, 220 is number one, right? 220 is a previous demand from back here. This is back in October. You had some 220 previous highs in this area, and it's trying to maintain it right now. So 220, you can see as we speak, right? See this? You're trying to hold that 220 demand. So that's number one, 220. You might even just want to move it down to 219.50, right? Because that's really where it showed. So 219.50, that's number one, okay? Number two, the next level you're watching, next demand you're watching, in my opinion, is this little triple top high and these lows right here at 215, right? That's number two. So 220, 215 are your two demands below, okay? 215, 220, those are your two demands that I'm watching below for potential holds. Now, if you bounce on Tesla, there is a very easy level to be watching for potential rejections, in my opinion, and it is the 226 level. Right around that 226, that is this previous low, and that is these previous highs. All right, and so if I go down to the shorter term time frames, if I look at this chart, right, this could be a very clean bounce off demand, sort of weak bounce gap fill move, and then Tesla continues the weakness. This could be, right, your fantastic short entry today, right there. That could be an awesome short around that 226. That is a previous major level. That is where we held yesterday into close, right? Pretty much all day you held 226. If you bounce, sort of gap fill on Tesla today, start to see some weakness setting up here, right? This could be your short entry. So I am definitely going to be watching Tesla for a morning bounce and a supply rejection. Knowing how weak it is, I know that I can look for that type of move. This would, again, just be a break, right, and retest type move and continuation of a downtrend. Okay, so 226, that's a big level I'd be watching. Now, if you just do this, right, if Tesla is dead again today and just shows that death, right, it's just done, then you are trading on a break and hold under the pre-market lows and 219.50. That is aggressive, right, but that is definitely a potential trade today. Right? If you get something like this and Tesla's just dead again and you start seeing this thing reject at the pre-market lows, this could absolutely be a trade again into that 215 demand. If Tesla wants to continue going, then that's what we look for. But if you are maintaining this 219, be careful shorting into that because you might need to get the gap fill and the retest of that supply above before this continues to drop. And if you're grabbing some Tesla 0 DTE puts in this area, you are going to be down like 70% before it actually rejects that level. So you better get a good entry if you're wanting to short Tesla today. If you're going to want to short it, there's only two short levels on Tesla today. There is here and there is here. There is no shorts here, over here, over there, right? It's either here or it's under this. That's it, right? Those are my only two levels that I would be interested in entering those shorts, right? So 219.50, 226, right? Under pre-market lows or back into yesterday's lows are the levels that I would be watching. All right. Let's continue. Nvidia's continued to be strong, right? This thing is holding up, no doubt about it. The hold is real, right? And I would be careful being the first guy in the room starting to short this thing. So yesterday, there was some very clean downside, right? Let me just sort of break down yesterday's price action real quick. Do a real quick price action analysis for you guys. Yesterday, the best short of the day was a retest of 546, right? 546, absolutely gorgeous short entry, perfection. Previous highs, pre-market highs, or after hours highs, sorry. If we go down to the 2-minute chart, right, at that 546 level, take a look at what happened here. Perfection short entry. 546, demand hold, early morning, bounce, drop, retest, bam, boom, right? Bam, boom, bomb, boom, bomb, right? Perfect. Previous lows, drop, demand hold at 540, retest 546, perfect short entry, right? That is gorgeous stuff. 546 right back at the exact highs of Wednesday. Perfection, right? And we were, if you guys are in the voice chat on the Discord, you know we were all over that one, right? So that was very nice. So there's obviously intraday opportunities all over the place. But overall, if you zoom out and you look at the larger term picture, it's still very strong, right? It's still very strong. And demand is still holding. So today, you're watching 546, all right? If it gets above and holds above 546, you're not shorting it. That is a very important hold. If Nvidia gets back over 546, right, and it starts to hold here, it's going to continue back into those highs, okay? If Nvidia rejects 546 again, right, that could be a potential short entry back into the 540, maybe back into that 535 area. So all about 546 today on Nvidia. Let's continue. Boeing. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, baby. All right. Hey. What are we up now? Oh, I'm up less. What the hell? Boeing. I only have a little bit. But hey, nice. Nice. Wow, there it goes. I was waiting for this. Holy hell. All right. Well, Boeing's dropping. Did we get news? Something coming. Well, yeah, a little bit of Boeing downside here. And you guys know I've been all over this stock. This is a big break, actually. This is a very big break, to be honest. 220. That's the level. Watch this little 220 area. It's probably going to want to trade back down into that 100, 200 SMA, right? It's probably going to want to trade back into that 100 and 200 SMA down there. That's 215, 214 area. So 215, 214, that's your next demand. I would look to see if Boeing can reject 220 today. If Boeing can stay under this 220, you might get that downside continuation. Airbus planes got grounded too? Interesting. Wow, tough week to fly, I bet. A tough week to fly. I'm sure. Is anyone flying this week? Is it sort of hard to find a flight? You think I'd be excited if I had calls? You think I'd be excited if I had calls? Yeah, Larry. Hey, if you guys are part of the Discord, yeah, Larry was. I can't say that Larry was wrong here. Larry's like Boeing the 218, and it's at 218. Wow, interesting. Larry, fuck. I'm gonna have to give him a call. So you can see Boeing, nice drop this morning off some news. Watch 220. Watch 220, right? 220, 223. Demand down at that 100, 200. But hey, Not bad. Not bad. All right, Coinbase. So, yesterday, took a short on Coinbase. Why? Because we're under that 144. 144, and look at what happened intraday at 144, right? Look at this. 144. Perfect. Rejections of previous demand all afternoon on Coinbase. So when I saw that, I was in for it, right? I was in for it. That was my whole reasoning to take the short entry yesterday, right? You can see if coin cannot break over that 144, I'm considering a next week put, and I took that shot around 3 o'clock. Should be opening pretty nicely today. If we can continue down, that'd be great. But 144, if Coinbase pops back into this level today, guys, watch for that rejection play, right? If Coinbase pops back into this 144 today, look for that rejection, right? That is a very nice possible rejection point that you could fade back into that 135 demand, okay? 144, 135. That's on Coinbase. Microsoft, a nice retest of 380 yesterday, guys. Really nice. Sort of like hidden if you were paying attention to this late day, right? A beautiful long entry because, yeah, we got a lot of downside early morning, but we moved right back to that 380 level that we were talking about. And look at how beautiful that hold was. Perfect retest hold of that 380. And a nice little intraday opportunity. So watch that 380, right? If we get any downside into that 380, watch for that demand hold, guys. That could still be that level to be looking long off Microsoft if we can hold that 380. Supply is right here at 384, 385.50, 385.40. That is the previous all-time high, right? Obviously, this is all-time high here, but the previous all-time high was at 385.40. So careful of the rejections there, right? Rejection, rejection, rejection. Careful there. If you get a pullback, I like that 380 level. That's a nice level to look long off of. If you break under 380, then you're losing momentum. All right, so 380, big watch there. The next one that did a beautiful break and retest, again, was Netflix, right off our 485 level. 485, 486, right here, you can see. Previous highs. Look at how perfect that drop and bounce was right off that previous high. Previous highs turning into new lows, right? That's pretty strong. You also have that 20 SMA sort of stair-stepping to the upside, maintaining Netflix higher. So today, if you get a pullback at any point towards this 485, 486, right, that could be a nice long spot. Very nice there. The level that's holding right now, which is very key, is look at this little hold over 494. That's pretty bullish on Netflix. 494, 494. If Netflix is above that 494, and not only is that a short-term level, right? Look at this hourly chart. 494, 494, 494, 494, right? Look at how key that previous high was there. And that is the exact level that Netflix is holding in the pre-market. So that's pretty nice stuff on Netflix. That's a very strong hold going on right now. If Netflix is above 494, it's going higher, right? If Netflix breaks under it, then you're going back to that 385 demand, okay? Let's go Meta. Meta, I would watch this 370 level today on Meta. Meta created a really nice rejection of this yesterday, and I would watch it again. So you can see right here, Meta 370. Meta sort of rejected it early morning. It was a little sloppy. Got a little bit above it here, so maybe it's like 371. I can't tell, for certain here. It's a little bit sloppy up here. You do know that you have that ultimate high at 373. And then you can see right now in the pre-market, 370, sort of creating a rejection as we speak. So if Meta shows some harsh rejections at 370 today, there could be a little short side play into that 363 again. That's something I would be watching. And just be careful on the longs, guys, right? I would not want to be long into this all-time high, or to this high, major high. Not all-time high, I don't think, but major high up here at 373. Be careful into that. Let's go to Square because I am still very intrigued by this move, guys. Square is, I just don't think a strong stock in general, and it's made a monster move to the upside. It's broken trend, right? You've gone in this trend. It's broken that trend, and it's starting to make sort of lower highs here. If Square stays below that $70 level, which is this previous high, right? Previous high, and it rejected again. I want to see if Square can break this 66. If Square can break this 66, I am very interested in this downside continuation. So watching 66 on Square, it held it yesterday very strong. So I'm not ready to short this thing yet, but I'm definitely going to be eyeing this 66. If we bounce back into 70, I'll look for rejections again. So pretty much eyes on this 66 to $70 channel on Square right here. Right here. 70, 66, waiting to see which side that breaks. Wanted to show you Roku real quick because Roku's sort of sitting on an edge, to be honest, right now. You can see right here, Roku is sitting on this 85 ledge, really. It's a ledge more than anything. You have this low, you have these highs. If Roku drops this, could see more downside. If Roku maintains this, then this could be a flag, right? This could be an extension of that flag that we tried to trade a few weeks ago. See if Roku holds this little 85 level. Shop. I mean, Shop was good back here, right? The longs were good here. Now, yeah, you're going to want to see Shop hold like this 79 zone, right? Look at this on the 4 hour. You have these previous highs around 79. Right, you're going to want to see these previous highs hold on Shop if you're long. You're going to want to see something like this. All right, you're going to want to see that 79 maintain. I would not want to see it break below, pretty much yesterday's lows. All right, if you're in calls on Shop, you're going to want to see it hold that 79. AMD real quick before we jump off, maybe AMD Apple, and then we're out of here, guys. So AMD, all about 147 today. Let's see what the exact level is going to be. It's pretty sloppy, right? This little area is sort of sloppy. And so is this low. Like, you moved into 143. Let me see. Is there anything there? Yeah, there's a little something back here. Like this 143 area. You can see sort of right in there. You have these previous lows, 20 SMA. You know, I thought it would have been, I think the clear trade for me is under 145 still. It's sort of sloppy here, guys. I'm not really liking any of this, right? I would have liked to see continuation under 145 yesterday. It got right back above. It pretty much held in an area that I really don't even have a level. All right, let me put a level here and extend this to the left. I mean, I guess you could say it held this high right here, sort of this consolidation range. So I would just mark that zone out. I didn't have that zone yesterday, so you can see right here, AMD held there, sort of held right there. Yeah, I guess you could call that a pretty decent zone around that 143.50. And then you got the 20 SMA below, but this zone in here looks pretty sloppy to me, right? I don't know if I'd be too interested in trading. Unless maybe it goes back into 150 and rejects, right? That would be probably the only thing I'd be interested in. Other than that, it's, in my eyes, pretty sloppy between, let's call it, 144, right, and 150. This little 6-point range is something I probably won't get too interested in. All right, last one I got for you here is Apple. And I'm just going to move this up to 186 because I think that's... It's really not 186. It's like sort of this 185.80. It's around this 185.60. You can see right here, right? Previous highs, previous lows, and sort of this general rejection here. So Apple, it's holding demand nicely, right? 184. Very nice demand holds coming in. Right? You can see there. A little bit of supply around this 185.60. If we go out to the hourly chart, or the 4-hour chart, this is my only concern for Apple upside, right? My concern on Apple upside, and why I don't really like the Apple upside right now, is because I believe that this on a larger time frame is simply a bear flag into supply, right? This is a very aggressive break that is sort of flagging back up, sort of slow volume, right? And this could easily just be a lower high. this could absolutely be a lower high forming on Apple. Right, so I'm not too fond of the longs right now on Apple. It's been very slow. You've traded back into supply. You saw a big rejection of supply up at that 188. So the longer time frames for me are just sort of more bearish than anything as of right now, right? You got a big slip, and this is sort of just that crawl back that could become that next drop. So I'm not too interested in Apple to the upside here. I would be sort of all eyes on that 188. All right, guys, that's all I got. I got to get out of here. I got to head over to the chat. So as of right now, market's holding demand, right? Market's holding demand very clearly. 16.9 demand holding. ES still holding that 4,800 and that 20 SMA. SPY very clearly holding that 475. And the QQQ very clearly holding that 407.60. So demand's holding. Be aware of that. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. All right? Press that like button if you can. 3-day weekend. Do not come here on Monday. I will not be here. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Help me continue to grow the channel, guys. I need your help. I need your help. So if you guys are, if you come here on a daily basis, show your support. I'm going to continue to try to grind to that 100K goal. 100K by the end of the year. We need to get there. We need to get there. All right, guys. I will see you on Tuesday. Peace out.